Today's going to be freakish. I can't even tell you guys. Today we have another installment of a Ben Kinney Company. We have a webinar today. Once again, hit me up on the Twitters if you want to chat with me. Or if you hear anything smart or stupid, quote me and tweet it. Throw it out there, because I'm going to say some stupid stuff today. Just stupid. Now, if you guys like what I teach on these webinars and you want to see some more stuff live and in person, June 12th in Seattle, we're hosting RE8 Expo. It's going to be a full day, maybe even a night of insane education with a manual that's thicker than your skull, where you can come and learn all day and walk away with a business plan on how to rock your life. So if you want to come June 12th to Seattle, by the way, if you're going to come to Seattle, come in June, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And we have people from Florida, Canada, not just fake Canada and British Columbia. I'm talking about all the way on the East Coast Canada coming out for RE8 Expo. So don't be a baby. Book a flight. All right. These calls are always brought to you by a couple amazing people. I don't know. Is there anybody on the call? Is there anybody on the call that is sometimes lazy? Hello? Yeah. Yeah, I'm lazy. That's why I got Happy Grasshopper. Happy Grasshoppers work in your sphere for lazy people. All I do is I pay 20-something bucks a month, and I put all my people into this database, and it emails them, and then they send me referrals. What? If you're lazy, you got to have a tool like this. Then I add the non-lazy stuff, like calling them, emailing them, you know, doing my other kind of get your sphere in gear program. You know what I'm saying? So check out Happy Grasshopper. By the way, they don't pay to be here. They're here because I love them. I love them because they rock my world for 20 bucks a month. You know what I'm saying? They love me long time for $20. You know what I'm saying, people? Huh. All right. Well, now we got to talk about the reason that we're all here today. I mean, we're really all here today because Brevity is our sponsor. Now, Brevity is what I've spent nearly $500,000 on recently to make the best real estate tool that you've ever seen. I'm talking about take your tour software, your virtual tour software, and I want you to crumple it up and dump it in the garbage because you don't need it, because Brevity does it. Get rid of your dinky, stinky CRMs, the archaic ones with all the buttons that nobody of us know how to use, and just stick it in the garbage. Get rid of your paper sheets, your spreadsheets, your junk that you use to manage your transactions. Heck, fire your transaction manager because you don't need it anymore because it does it. Get rid of your marketing tools because Brevity does it. It all does it. It's amazing. Amazing. Brevity is a consumer search portal where they get to search for listings, and where buyers can search for listings, and all the leads go to you. They don't get sold to somebody else. There isn't anybody paying $100 a month to be on that zip code. They're your leads. You kidding me? And then when you log in as an agent or an admin, you get a list of all the tasks that you got to get done. How many people on the call forget to do something sometimes? Hello? Hello? Type in the answer. I'm hanging up. If this call sucks and you want to leave, just tell me. I'll go with you. When you get all these tasks and you click the little checkbox, you see the checkbox on the screen, you click that, it creates an email that goes out to your clients. And on that email, it says, hey, congratulations. Here's the 17 things that Ben did to get your home sold today. This solves the #1 complaint in real estate, is that we don't communicate enough. Brevity is the transparency tool. It's the communication tool that will increase client satisfaction to the point we're having our Brevity customers getting unsolicited reviews on Yelp about their communication, And the clients don't even know there's Brivity that does it, but that's why, because they communicate everything that it does. Brivity communicates every time you complete a task. It communicates every place that you advertise the property, all the show and feedback. Get rid of your show and feedback software. Are you kidding me? This thing will change your life. And then you get this page that's created for your seller or your buyer where they can log in 24 hours a day and, boom, see everything that you've done for them. A timeline, everything that's been done. Advertising, every place is advertised. All the tasks that have been completed. All the show and feedback. All the notes on the property, the photographs. Are you kidding me? Gives them a way to market their own listing to their sphere. By the way, it generates leads for you. That's awesome. You get marketing tools like nobody's ever seen. With one click, you can add your listing to Facebook. One click, you can tweet it. You can pin it on Pinterest. You can Google Plus it. You can post it on Craigslist. You can go on Active Rain. This is insanity. Hello, people. Hello. Now, we also built CRM aspects. And if you want to, Brivity is, right now it's awesome. But you guys haven't seen nothing. Our developers are building and building and building until this thing replaces every tool you've ever seen. It's going to get rid of the junk in the market, the cream of the crap, so to speak. But in Brivity, you get the Sphere and Gear program where you get to work your sphere. You put them in a Happy Grasshopper, you update their profile, you add them to the Realtor Lowe's benefit plans, you make their monthly calls, you send the biweekly Sphere emails, you mail them, you social media touch them, you schedule your quarterly visits. Everything's organized so you don't forget about your sphere. Brian Buffini, eat your heart out! Because this does everything. Are you kidding me? Boom! Hey, a special announcement. Special announcement, everybody. We have a very special announcement. Brivity, in 2 weeks, is launching Brivity Valuations. Brivity Valuations is our valuation tool created by Relaunch on steroids. It's the single best thing you've ever seen, and it blows away the competition. For a very cheap price, you can get seller leads delivered to you. What? A listing lead gen tool. Go to brivityvaluations.com if you would like to check it out and get in line. Get in line. The tool, the CRM in the back, the automatic email responses, our ability to find additional contact information and property details, it's going to blow you away. Blow you away. If you guys want to get a demo on Brivity, go to brivity.com or call the number on the screen, which my amazing staff will send out to you via the chat box, because I got to go. I'm rocking and rolling. Now, we got a couple of cool products by Relaunch that we got to mention. First one is your seller site. If you want to look sexy online, if you want a place where you can send all your sellers to validate if you're the right person to hire, you need a seller site, because they're going to go to your buyer site and they aren't going to see what they need. You need a seller site. Sue Adler, Tim Heil, Matt Fedek, Jackie Ellis, mega agents all over the nation have seller sites. Mine, sellerchallenge.com. My staff will hit you up with it. Check it out if you want one. Check out Sue Adler's if you want one. Tim Heil's, what? And of course, we have variations of valuation sites, which will be replaced by Brivity Valuations coming soon. So I'm going to rock and roll through this. But if you need seller leads, you need a valuation site. So you got to let us know. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All right. Well, the last thing I'm going to be talking to you guys about is getting a city guide. When I built my business, off of a city guide, livebellingham.com, and it changed my world. Now, agents all over the nation are getting city guides. I own 750 domain names that start with the word live. So only one agent per market can get it. So if you want to get one, let us know. Type it in the chat box. Go to livecityguides.com or contact Relaunch. Now, it's a powerful tool. I explained the last webinar. I'm not going to get into it, but I want you to tell you it's free. How many people would like a free city guide? Type it in the chat box. You want a free one? Hello? 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 Free? Free? No. Somebody said no. You cheap butt. You are a cheap butt. All right. Because you get my vendor advertising program with it. My vendor advertising program. Tim Heil brings in $8,000 to $10,000 a month. My best year in the vendor advertising, we brought in $250,000. $250,000 off advertising on our city guides and our mail piece. What? That's free. That's free. You pay a couple $100 for a city guide, but you get 10 grand a month for it? Are you stupid? What, stupid? Boom! Change your life. Vendor advertising shows you how you guys can make money, mostly RESPA compliant. There's some things you got to research in your own market because we got to follow the rules. But how do you make money off of your city guides or your print advertising, giving coupons, online listing advertising, in-office advertising, on websites or on your social media, through emails and access to your database, and through having people come to your live events and sponsor your live events? I'm talking about taking the people in your market, in your area, that would have a use for your clients, and helping connecting these advertisers, these services, these products in your area directly to your new homeowners. And just take a little bit of money for it. Vendor advertising. Change your life. Change your life, people. All right. To do that, go to reallaunch.com, or boom, my staff will send you out the number to call or the email address or whatever. Just type in what you want into the chat box. We'll follow up with you afterwards. Now, time to get down. Get down. It's time to team up or shut up with me. I want to talk to you guys about why teams. Now, here's what I'm saying today. It's not just about building your own team. I'm saying why teams are the best for everybody. Why are teams the best for people to be on? Why are teams the best for you to build? Why are teams the best for you to be a place for you to work for? And to answer that, you guys got to sit back. You got to sit back and you got to say, what are my goals? What are my goals? What are my business goals? How many units do I want to sell? How big do I want my business to be? What are my financial goals? When do I want to be out of debt? When do I want to have a certain amount of reserves in my bank account? When would I like residual income coming in every single month? And my health. Hey, when would I like to lose some weight? When would I like to start exercising more? My relationships. Hey, when would I like to have an amazing relationship? When would I like my kids to recognize me, for my dog not to hate me? Right? And in your personal life, when would you like to accomplish some of the things in your personal life that you've always dreamed of? Maybe that vacation, or learning to do something else other than just sell real estate, like play the guitar or learn to dance. You know what I'm saying? Now, real estate teams solve the problem. I sit in a room with agents that make $50 to $100 million a year in sales volume, right? And I talk to them, about what they do with their time off, and they say, hey, I work nights, I work weekends. Well, that's stupid. You're not going to go to your gravestone, somebody's reading off the eulogy, Ben, he sold a lot of houses. Hell no. That's not what I'm into. It's Ben had an amazing business. He made a lot of people rich. He changed a lot of lives. He had amazing relationships. He was healthy, and he accomplished his personal goals. That's what I want on my gravestone. What about you guys? What do you want your eulogy to be about? See, if you're working every night and every weekend, you don't have a business, unfortunately. You have a job. And it's a crappy job because your hourly rate is less. Every extra hour that you work, your hourly rate goes down. Down. Don't do that. That's stupid. Teams can help change that for you. So let me talk about this. I'm going to talk to you guys about why you guys should join my team. Now, I'm not trying to recruit you, mostly because most of you guys wouldn't work hard enough. You guys wouldn't qualify to be on my team. I'm going to show you how I do it. How many people would like to know how I recruit people to my team? Hello? Hello? Can you guys use the stupid chat box? Are you sleeping? Get off Facebook. Get off Facebook, people. Record this. Write notes. This will change your life. All right. Let's take somebody. Tom. I see Tom typing into the chat box here. Tom. I'd like to talk to you about an opportunity where you and I could work together. And Tom, if this opportunity is right for both of us, what I'm saying is that you're going to have a better life and I'm going to have a better life. If you would make more money, you could have a better life, and I would make more money and I would have a better life. Would you consider, Tom, working with me? Yeah. Tom says, duh. Right? All right. Okay. So Tom, before we start talking about working together, what we have to understand is what you know. Tom, do you know the difference between gross and net? See, gross is what agents with egos talk about. I grossed $3.5 million in commission. I grossed $500,000. I made 500 grand last year, Tom. Yeah. But they gave half of it to their brokerage, or they gave a ton of it to their assistants and their staffs and Zillow and all these other. They just paid. They didn't net anything. At the end of the day, what I'm talking about, Tom, is what you pay taxes on, what you net. See, business people care about net. Egos care about gross. So, Tom, which one are you more interested in, having a high gross or having a high net? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, Tom says, what goes in my pocket? That's what I'm saying. Okay, now that I know that you're that type of person, I can keep talking to you. Tom, what I want to tell you is that I believe there's 3 reasons why you should consider being on my team. And these 3 reasons will change your net income, change your life, and create huge opportunity for you. Now, the first reason is, Tom, on my team, you'll have low to no expenses. Now, low to no expenses would be, I'm going to cover your admin. I'm going to cover your marketing cost, your signs, your flyers, your websites, all of those things. Now, Tom, if I covered all those expenses, let's say you also had a lower split at the brokerage, a lower cap, because that's how our business model works here, what would that affect, your gross or your net? Yeah, it would affect your net income. So by just working on our team and me covering all your expenses, you're going to have a low overhead or no overhead, and it's going to increase your net income. Now, the next thing is that you're going to have more time. Now, you're going to have more time to do one of 2 things, or both. Number 1, you can spend more time with your family. You can spend more time with the people you love or doing the things that you love. Or number 2, you can spend more time doing more business. And why I say that, Tom, is because our admin, our administrative team, takes care of all the things that a normal agent would have to do. Signs, flyers, listing inputs, sign installation, following up, data entry, emails, the lead gen part of it. You don't have to do any of that. You only have to spend your time doing the most dollar productive things out there. Now, Tom, this will increase your what? Yeah, yeah, it'll increase your net income. Now, the third reason you should consider being on my team is because you'll do more business. You're going to do more business for 2 reasons, Tom. Number 1, because our systems allow you to be more productive because we figured out how to convert leads. We figured out what listing presentation works the best. We figured out what things to say to our sphere, what pieces to email, how to farm, do those things. Our systems in itself will just make you more productive. And second, because we'll deliver you leads so that you can also just do plain more business. Now, when I add that up, you're going to have no expenses, Tom. You're going to have more time with your family or to do more work to actually show or list properties. And you're going to have more business. Number 1, because of systems. Number 2, because of the leads. Does that appeal to you, Tom? You would net more income than you've ever thought. Now, if you're interested in that, Tom, the only thing that we have to figure out are what are your expectations and what are my expectations. Now, I'm going to start with my expectations. Now, my expectations are simple. What I need you to do is I need you to understand the difference between a job and a business. Now, when you come to work with me, you're going to have a job. If you do your job, I'm going to let you into my business. You see how this piece of pie, Tom, is divided up into 6 chunks and there's a big black line down the center? The big black line down the center says, hey, you have to do your job first before you get into my business. The top of that pie is your sphere. So Tom, to work on my team, you're going to have to agree to work your sphere. And before you come in on day one, I'm going to ask you to have a list of at least 200 people that you know, friends, family, people that you do business with ready. And I'm going to teach you how to work that database to generate referrals. The second piece of the pie down is I'm going to ask you to be on stage as much as possible. And Tom, how you're going to be on stage is you're going to be hosting open houses. And to be on our team, you will need to host 2 open houses a week, one during the week and one on the weekend. Or if you want, you can get them both done on the weekend. Let's say at 11 to 1 and then a 2 to 3. Now, the bottom piece of the pie is prospecting. And to be on our team, everybody prospects. And we have what's called do the 50. And when you do the 50 on the team, you need to make 50 dials every single day. So that's 250 dials per week. Now you're going to call canceled, expireds, FISBOs, all that sort of stuff. Now, if you do that, Tom, I would expect that right away you're going to start closing at least 1 deal per month. 1 deal per month. If you're closing 1 deal per month, I'm going to let you into the other side of the pie, which is my business. And on the top of that, the first piece of pie is internet leads. And I'll give you access to the internet leads that we generate, and you'll get about 1 a day. And the next piece of pie down is other leads. These would be sign calls, flyer calls, print ad calls, referrals from other agents, leads from our city guides, just all the other stuff that we're doing. You'll get access to it. And then the bottom piece of the pie is appointments. And our team will set appointments for you. Of course, it's at a different split, but you'll generate more and more business. These will just be the come list me's or the come show me appointments. Now, that should be giving you at least 1 deal per month. So, as soon as you're closing 1 deal in your job, I'll let you in to my side of the business, Tom, which will allow you to be doing at least 1 deal. Now, what I'm saying is you need to be doing 2 deals a month to work on my team. Does that seem like a fair thing? Now, what I know, though, is every time you close a deal, you increase the size of your sphere. You're out there doing more business. And what's going to happen is you're going to start doing 2 deals a month from your sphere and open houses and prospecting. And as you're doing 2 over there, I'm going to give you more leads, so you'll start doing 2 deals a month on your business. Now, that's pretty cool. Now, on the business, you're going to be doing 4 deals a month with no expenses. So you're going to have a huge net income. Now, if you can average 3 to 4 deals a month, Tom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you build a team within my team. And a team within my team is going to be that I'm going to help you hire a showing agent. After you start doing 6 to 8 deals a month, I'll help you hire a second showing agent. You can get up above that. I'll help you hire a personal assistant. And you will have a massive life. You will have a net income of $500,000 net, no expenses, no overhead. You'll be working 40 to 45 hours a week, and you'll be having an amazing life. Now, it's going to take you a little bit of time to build up to that. My estimation, if you work hard, Tom, is about 2 years. Now, Tom, let me ask you a question. Does all of this make sense to you? Does all of this seem like an opportunity that you'd be interested in? Hello? How about the rest of you on the call? Do you guys understand the team pitch on why it could be an asset? Right? What I'm saying is that teams are not for brand new agents. Teams are for people that are great at selling, that are great at doing some things, and don't want to do the rest of the equation, the admin, the telemarketing, whatever it is. There's some piece that they don't want to do. They don't like the risk. They don't like to manage staff, etc. Well, so that gets me to my next point, that there are myths about teams. The myths are things like, hey, it's not just for brand new agents. Myth number 2 is you don't make as much money on a team because you give up a percentage of your income. Hello, would you guys rather have 100% of 3 deals or 50% of 100? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. there's all these myths about real estate. The other myth is that I care about my customers too much. I could never let somebody else do that. That's just an ego comment. Because I go into my doctor's office and I go and I say, hey doctor, I need an appointment, and I don't talk to him, I talk to a receptionist, and I go in there and then I pay the bill through the billing person, and I sit in there and the nurse waves me and she shakes her head and be like, boy, you need to lay off the donuts. And then I go into the room and they put the thing around my arm and they check my blood pressure and then they check my temperature, and then all of a sudden, maybe if I'm lucky, the doctor sees me. He gets paid the big bucks. Are you acting like the doctor or like the nurse? See, the best way to solve what consumers need is for us to treat consumers like we're a specialist, not a generalist. And teams allow you to be, for sure, a specialist. Now, I think there's benefits to be on a team. I think there's benefits to build a team. I think there's amazing benefits to build a team within a team. But we'll talk about it. So I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about how my team operates. And I've never done a call like this in my life, and all my staff is very nervous. But what we're going to do for the next 30 minutes, 40 minutes, we're going to play Meet the Team. We're going to play Meet the Team. And to do that, we have to understand where my business came from. And I had some nice guy on the call. I want to read this to you guys. It's really funny. Hold on a second. Sometimes people don't listen long enough to get the message. Some people don't listen long enough to get the message. It was a really funny message. I was hoping I would get to read that to you. Oh, there it is. Some guy said, leave me now, don't appreciate being called stupid. I didn't call you guys stupid. I said, don't be stupid. Don't appreciate being called lazy. I will not listen to someone who implies I'm not good enough. Have a nice life, you egotistical jerk. Some guy really did not like me today. What do you guys think about that on the call? I'm not going to say his name, but he hates my guts. Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Okay. You guys are funny. You guys made me feel better. Now, how do you get started? I'll tell you overall that I'm not a very good agent. I'm just not a very good agent at all. I know that because if I hustled my butt off, I could sell 25 homes a year. Because I get caught up in the transaction. I get caught up dealing with paperwork. I'm really bad at paperwork. I get caught up putting the listing things in there and hosting open houses and doing the stuff. I'm not a very good generalist. It overwhelms me. And the maximum amount of homes that I can sell in a year is 25. I can't do any more than that. Now, if I take away the clerical side of it and you leave me to the lead gen, I can sell a lot. Because what happened is when I went from being a solo agent to hiring my first person, what I got was an amazing increase in my business. I increased my business, I don't know, I think it's 300%, something like that. I don't know. We went from 25 to 84 transactions. And Julene, are you on the call?
I am on the call.
Speak up.
I'm here. Hi, Ben.
Okay, speak louder.
Okay. I might have to yell.
That's perfect. I like it when you yell. Can everybody hear Julene? Everybody say hi, Julene.
I could definitely hear them.
Okay. Hey, Julene. So 9 years ago, I came into your office and I said, hey, Julene, I'm thinking about hiring an assistant. What do you think of this person and this person and this person? And you're like, hey, could I apply for that job? And I was thinking to myself, gosh, that girl's stupid. Why would she work for me? I've just done 25 deals. But you took the leap. What was that like in the beginning when you and I first started working together?
Right. Well, ground zero was very interesting, and we didn't have as many resources as we do in building teams today. So it was very exciting. And truly, I was the first expense on the team, right? And Gary Keller says always lead with revenue. And Ben did that and then hired me, and I was the first expense. So for lack of a better phrase, I had to pay for myself, right? And so we really focused on lead generation in the beginning. And lead generation through like calling expireds and canceled. It's free, right? And lead generation through prospecting for referrals through our sphere. Free, right?
Mm-hmm. You know, when I first hired you, Julian, I remember I kind of came up to you and I said, "Hey, I appreciate you want to apply for the position, but to be honest, I have about 3 or 4 months of money set aside to pay for you, and if we aren't making more money at the end of that period, I'm going to have to let you go." And because of that, what did we focus on?
Well, we focused on lead generation.
That's it. So you didn't get to collate, organize, color code, or make the things around us pretty because we had to generate business, right?
We did.
Now, how were you paid in the beginning? Not how much, but how were you paid?
Hourly.
Hourly. And to be honest, Julian, it wasn't a ton of money. It was just what I could afford then. And then
Exactly.
what happened with Jolene as our business grew, I gave her the choice. Jolene, would you like to take hourly or would you like to take a percentage of my commission? And you made the smart decision, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, you set up percentage of the commission. Now, you've grown with me over time, and you've hired additional people that work for us now. And so that first year, what was your job? What exactly did you do?
The first year in working with you,
Yeah. What was your main jobs?
my main job was helping you close buyers and sellers, lead generation, getting price reductions, money-making activities like referrals through Sphere and so on, and then hiring new agents onto the team.
Yeah, checking, showing feedback, doing our mail marketing, pending management, listing management, all those sort of things. And
All
Julian,
of the above.
you've been licensed the whole time, right?
I have been.
Yeah. So I made the decision to make my first assistant a licensed assistant. And Julian and I have been through a lot. So she's gone from us doing 25 deals a year to us doing upwards of 600. Okay. So now we're doing 600 deals a year. What's your life like now? What do you do?
You know, I focus on systems that help make us run effectively and systems for all of us, including admin. And it's funny, Ben, because I was thinking about it when you were talking this morning, and truly I don't have to manage the people that work for our company because, first of all, I know you wouldn't hire someone that needed to be managed. And second of all, the systems that we use really do the management for us and help us be effective in our roles. With lead generation through our Live City guide sites and Brivity for pending and listing coordination, and that takes so much off of my plate and allows me to focus on helping the team grow through recruiting and us knowing our numbers and what's bringing in, generating the most income for us, what that lead source is, and then a lot of accountability with each of the agents as well.
And what time do you get to the office in the morning?
7:30.
7:30. And what time do you leave?
About 5:30.
So do you guys get that? I mean, she's running one of the highest producing teams in the nation. I've been gone for 120, 150 days in a year, traveling, teaching, doing my stuff, and she still runs the team. And she does it in 40 or 50 hours. I want you guys to think about that. Because we have this idea, and everybody that works for me, and Julene will give you the right answer on this. Julene, if I have to manage you, you're what?
Fired.
Fired. If I have to manage you, you're fired. Write that down, guys. If you have people that work for you and you feel like you're managing them, you have the wrong people, or you haven't set up the expectations correctly, or you don't have systems in place. Remember, John Maxwell says that systems make the ordinary extraordinary. So, Julian, now you do a lot of accountability for the agents. Tell us about the jar of sand on your desk.
Well, the sand timer is my way to kind of not only help emphasize the importance of time and how much time is in a day, but it also helps me stay on track because I can get a little squirrel and off track. So this helps me accomplish tasks because one sand timer is 10 minutes and one sand timer is 30 minutes. And I know if I turn that over, I can do anything. I can focus on anything for 10 minutes or 30 minutes. And it really helps me stay on track with, my 20%. But also for accountability, um, having that sand timer go and really watching the time physically slip away helps us focus on the things that really matter in an accountability session.
I mean, Julian, do you really need to spend more than 10 minutes talking to anybody ever?
I don't think so.
I don't think you do. I think that's all you need is 10 minutes. Julian, I'm going to come back to you. As we grew, we were able to kind of grow our business more and more. And Julian, we started hiring additional people probably within 2 years because you were just overwhelmed. And you were overwhelmed, I think, because of the amount of listings that were taken. I remember that first year when I was going after candidates that expired full time. I went on 240 listing appointments and we listed 217 properties. So at that point, we had pendings, we had team members, we had different stuff going on. We had to hire a listing manager. And what I'd like to do is talk to our listing manager on the phone. Is Johanna there?
I'm here, Ben.
Everybody on the call, say hi, Johanna. Hello? Hello? Oh, they're all saying hi. See, you guys don't know this, but Johanna grew up across the street from me. When I was 4 years old, Johanna was across the street. So I've known Johanna since I was 4 years old, my whole life. Okay, now, Johanna, what is your title?
I am the listing manager here.
Listing manager. And are you the only one that does the listings on our team?
Yes.
Yes. And in a given year, how many listings do you manage?
This year so far, about 800.
You know what I'm going to say right now, Johanna?
What?
What?
Oh.
Are you guys kidding me? One girl manages 800 listings. Are you kidding me? People, are you listening?
I'm not kidding you.
800 listings. Now, that's because we have listings at the end of December, Johanna, that still stay with us in January. So you have
Right.
all the old listings that carry on to the new year. Then we have all the new listings that we take, and then all the pending ones throughout the year. It's a lot of listing management. When you started with us, how did you manage listings?
Mostly paper files and
Mostly
Excel spreadsheets.
checklists. Yeah, yeah. And how did that work for you?
Well, it was not very time efficient, that's for sure.
It's what I like to call the cream of the crap. It was the best of the worst systems that we could think of, right? So now, what's your day look like?
My day looks like one screen that I pull up on one of our programs that we use, Brivity.
And
it pretty much manages my, what's that?
What do you do in there?
I pull up my checklist for my day.
Okay, and your checklist. So let's give these people on the call some of the ideas of some of the things that you do.
Okay, so when I pull up my checklist, I go through and make sure the most urgent things are taken care of as far as making my seller introduction calls and also making sure things are being advertised properly on all of our sites for Trulia and Zillow, and making sure our sellers are getting all of their information they need as well through Brivity.
Now, you do all the new agent listing paperwork, all the paperwork when we go on an appointment.
Yes.
And you create the packages for them.
Yes.
You're kind of the go-to between sellers and the agents. Wouldn't you agree?
Right, yes.
What's the most frustrating part of your job? And this is where you get to be honest.
The most frustrating part is not being able to do everything all at once. I have probably 4 or 5 things going on each screen at each time, and I wish I could definitely have more arms, I guess.
Yeah, I bet. You manage a lot of stuff, and it's frustrating, but you have to pick your kids up at what time?
By 5.
By 5. So you leave every day, and how far of a drive is it home?
An hour.
An hour you drive home to pick up your kids. So it's not like you're working an amazing amount of hours. Now, your job sounds like you have to pay attention to details. You have to make sure nothing falls through the crack. Now, if you guys can see on the slide here, you can see that I spelled manager wrong. Thank you for the person that pointed that out. That's because I made that and Johanna didn't. Now, Johanna, do you have internet at home? I mean, you kind of live out in God's country.
Actually, I did just get internet, yes.
Yeah, but for the most of the time, you don't really work at home, right?
No, not at all.
No. So she gets everything done while she's here. Do you guys hear that? Hello? Okay. Johanna, you are amazing, one of the best hires I've ever made, and I'm so blessed to be in business with you. And you manage an amazing amount of business. And if you could see the chat box on the screen right here, everybody is typing in, "Do you have superpowers?" And I think you do. And you guys don't know this, but Johanna took Brivity from the beginning, and Brivity in the beginning was just a seller task list, and she grew it. And every time she needed a new feature, she sent it to the developers. And every time we add something new, she finds a way to break it. Between her and Jen, they've created Brivity to work for the highest producing teams in the nation because it's made off how they actually run their business. Now, when you get Brivity, you get our action plans, the ones that we use, so you can kind of see how Johanna does her job. Johanna, let's talk to Jen real quick.
Okay, perfect. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Pretty good.
Everybody on the call say hi, Jen.
Hi, all.
Okay. Jen manages pendings. Now, in a given year, how many pendings are you going to manage, Jen?
Well, because the team's kicking butt this week, we're over 120 right now.
Okay. And for the entire year, it's probably going to be close to 800,000?
Absolutely.
Because you manage not just the pendings that close, but also the pendings that don't, the ones that fall apart or don't get accepted, etc. Okay. So what's your day like?
My day is opening up Gmail, taking care of any emergencies, and then switching over to Brivity to see what I have to do for the day, and following up every week.
And you manage all the pendings in there?
I do, yes.
So for instance, what sort of things are you doing?
I will open up with escrow, make sure everyone's communicating, get the lender, escrow, clients talking, and the agents. And I have weekly follow-ups to make sure our contracts are going into closing.
Yep, and you're updating our spreadsheet so Julian and I know what our business is going to do, how much money we're going to make or not make, all that sort of stuff.
Making sure all the stats are there so we know what we're going to make every month, yep.
Okay, and what's the hardest part of your job?
Mine is balancing between pendings and helping out with listings in terms of doing photos and photo shoots.
Okay. You know, that's one thing to point out here, guys, is that Jen manages 800 to 1,000 pendings in a year, and she also goes out and does our photography for some of our high-end properties and does all of our photo touch-ups. Now, the only additional admin person that we have on the team that touches pendings or listings is our virtual assistant. And Jen, do you work with our virtual assistant?
Sometimes when I'm covering for Johanna.
Okay, so our virtual assistant mostly handles the listing side of the business?
Yes.
Does she take the photographs that you market or that you make pretty and do stuff with them?
Absolutely. Syndicates it out everywhere.
Okay. Okay, I get it. So the entire team of admin is done by two amazing girls, one VA, and then Jolene to manage them. Okay, crazy. Now, Jen, what would you share to somebody about hiring somebody to do your job? What's important about your position? What does somebody have to think about or do?
Mostly it's great communication and flexibility.
Okay.
And just in terms of working with different types of people.
Is it hard to work with a team as large as ours, gathering all the stuff that you need?
You know, it used to be, but not really anymore. It's very manageable with our new programs.
Could you crack the whip on them?
I do.
You do. My girls are pretty tough. Okay, Jen, thanks for answering those couple of questions for us. Let's talk about buyer's agents. When we added buyer agents, Jolene, if you're there, get on the phone with us.
I'm here, Ben.
Okay, so when we hired buyer's agents, our business went up to 143 transactions in a year. And that was huge for us. I mean, we pretty much doubled our business once again. So what we did is we said, hey, if we had one good buyer's agent and we can do 143 transactions in a year, what we should do, Julian, is we should go out and hire a bunch of buyer's agents. And then what happened is we only did 153 transactions. And the reason is, why do you think that was, Julian?
I think it was a combination of a few things, Ben. Accountability and systems and that sort of thing. Just really focus on the model of lead generation from 9 till noon.
Yeah, I think we hired the wrong people. We hired the sucks, as my friend Chris just pointed out. Does that make sense? I mean, what we did is we said, hey, with one buyer's agent we can make 143 deals, but if we hired a whole bunch, what happens is we just gathered a bunch of people. We weren't actually hiring talent. We were just gathering a bunch of people and saying it's a team. And if you guys are on the call, you guys will know that people out there do that all the time. They go out and say, hey, we're going to build a team, and they just gather a whole bunch of people in the office, and then they call it a team.
Right, Ben, thank you. Now I remember.
What I think we have to do is that we have to hire the right people. So on the call, we have somebody that does not start with a J. Seems like all of our staff does start with a J. Our audience is pointing out. But Tamara, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, speak up.
Hello.
Okay, better. Okay, this is Tamara. Tamara's one of our top agents. Did about $250,000 last year. She's phenomenal. She's been with me for a long time. Tamara, when you joined the team, everybody's typing in the chat box saying hi to you. What was your first position on the team?
Buyer's agent.
Buyer's agent. And you've been licensed for how long?
12 years.
12 years. So you'd been an interim team leader at an office. You'd had your own team. You'd sell real estate on your own, correct?
Correct. Yep.
So why in the hell would you join my team?
Well, first of all, I didn't know who you were, so it wasn't because of you. But I joined for the leverage. I would say originally I joined for the leverage. Now, of course, I would say leverage systems and the opportunity that the team brings to me, but originally leverage.
Okay. And on your own, how many deals a year were you doing?
24 to 36.
Okay. And how many deals did you do last year?
70.
About 70 transactions. Okay.
Yeah,
you guys hear that?
Yeah.
And what were your expenses last year?
Just like the basic stuff, you know, my gas, my phone, my NAR dues, and my super key.
Yeah, so not very much expenses at all. So you had a pretty good net income.
Yes.
Do you think last year kind of changed your life?
Yes. Definitely, most definitely.
How would you say that happened?
How did it change my life, or how did I make that? How it changed my life? I mean, last year I paid off debt. I brought a brand new car, cash. We booked a trip to Hawaii. I mean, it's totally changed my life. And I don't work weekends very often, and I don't work evenings.
Yeah, so this myth is that people go on teams because they're brand new, which isn't true. And they go on teams and they don't make as much money. That isn't true. Tamara, you do a good job. You've evolved from being, you know, just a regular agent, friends and family agent, to somebody that's thriving. So what's your day like? Tell us about it, and speak up too.
Okay, so my first thing I do in the morning is I drive my son to school. I have 3 kids. So I drive my youngest to school, and then I get into the office. We do scripts first thing in the morning. Right after scripts, jump into lead gen. I try really hard just to focus on lead gen, new lead gen, and then my last hour of lead gen, I focus on lead gen that, you know, that I've already touched somebody, but just trying to make that into an appointment. So, and then in the afternoons I do appointments up until, I try not to book an appointment if I can help it during the week after 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Okay, so what's your goal for transactions this year?
100.
100. Okay, so you said that you don't work weekends, you don't work nights. So how do you do that? I mean, this person's saying, how does she show homes if she doesn't work evenings and weekends? How does that work?
So I two things. I try to be purposeful on when I'm setting my appointments, and the second thing is I hired a showing specialist.
Okay, so the showing specialist goes out and shows properties for you.
Yes, I very rarely show properties.
And you pay them out of your 50% to
Correct.
go show homes for you. And then while they're out showing, what are you doing?
Well, it just depends. I'm either spending time with my family or I'm calling more leads to get more appointments, to get more showings to help support their business as well.
Okay.
Yeah, family time or making more money. Those are my two.
I mean, so you kind of started as a buyer's agent for us because we have excess amount of buyer leads. I mean, we actually have way more leads than we can work. We just need more people that want to work them, to be honest. And now you get extra time so you can go take on listings?
Oh, yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
I can do more listings now because I'm not out showing for 4 hours.
And how many listings do you think you could handle at a time?
Well, right now I have 15, and that's easy. So I can manage 15 pretty easy. So I would say 30, 40.
Yeah, I think that's probably what you can get. And what we see is that agents can manage 4 to 8 buyers at a time, or they can manage 30 or 40 listings. I mean, we just have a problem right now that when we take a listing, it's selling, which I guess is a first-class problem, but it's also harder to get listings when they're selling so fast, and there's no expires or cancels anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, cool. Tamara, what would you share to people about this opportunity? You have this kind of cool philosophy about your seat on the bus. Talk to me about that.
Well, when I first joined your team, I really was an existing agent. So I was coming onto your team. So for a while there, I still had that mindset of, you know, I've been an independent agent, I can do this myself kind of concept. And then once I really understood what my role was as a buyer's agent, then and the opportunities and the leverage that I had on the team, then I really focused on my seat on the bus, I call it, because I'm on the Ben Kinney bus. So I focused on my seat on the bus and how I could take my seat on the bus to be the best seat on the bus. What do I need to do as a buyer's agent to be the best buyer's agent that I can? And then that kind of launched into a showing specialist and freed up my time to go, wait a second, I'm thinking small. How can I have a team, like you said, a team within a team, and grow my listing leads as well?
Yeah. You know what's funny is I'm watching the chat box as you talk here too. I'm one of the few agents in the nation that think that when you hire a member of your team as a buyer's agent, that 80% of their business should be buyers, but you should let them list properties. And if they start loving listings, let them be a listing agent, and then 20% of their business will be buyers. So for all the people typing into the chat box there, we let our buyer's agents list, and they become good at it. But before we let somebody go on a listing appointment, Tamara, what do we have them do?
Shadow our top agents, or shadow our listing specialists, and also memorize the listing presentation. So I'm doing it exactly the same way that you're doing it.
Exactly. So, Tamara, stay on the line with me.
Okay.
But we have inside sales and telemarketing. And Julian, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Speak up.
I'm here.
Did Brian take off?
I'm here, Ben.
Brian.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Brian. Thanks. Hey, Brian.
I went mobile.
You're inside sales, telemarketing. Was Anthony in the room?
He's not in the room.
In next door.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, Brian, you were hired as a telemarketer, and your job was to generate listing appointments for our listing agent, correct?
Yes.
How many calls do you make a day?
Well, there's two groups. One, how many should I, and then how many I actually do, I guess. But I try and stay around 150.
Yep. And yesterday, in 1 hour, how many calls did you get?
130.
130.
Well, dials. I talked
yes.
to probably 20 people.
So the difference is, Brian, is that when your call and cancel expires, it's slower. correct?
Yeah, it could be. Depends on if you get a hold of people.
Yeah. Okay. So you were hired as a telemarketer, and you were paid a salary plus a percentage of each one of the listings that we take. Now, Brian, what sort of leads are you working right now?
Used to be a lot more canceled expireds, but there's fewer of those. But thankfully, we have leads coming from our valuation sites that we work, and the city guide, and your seller site.
And Mojo?
Yep. We do
circle
prospecting. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Don't want to forget about that. Circle
and
prospecting.
Brian's training our new telemarketers, and he's moving on to be a listing agent and do other stuff with us as well. And you see that with a lot of our people. They start in one position and they go to the next one. Brian, you and I were talking last night. What are some things that you think that you want to share with us? You had some kind of good thoughts last night.
Sure. Yeah. In over my experience, I've kind of tried to develop this picture of prospecting, and a lot of it came from talking to agents who have their own valuation leads sites, say through Real Launch, where they get a lot of leads, and you get a lot of listing leads. And what I found is, I think if you think more of seller leads in particular, like you're prospecting for them, and it's like a dartboard. And I think that if you can picture a dartboard, because I'm very visually oriented, the center bullseye is list now and or sell now, and I think it's the one everybody aims for, but it's the one that's the hardest to hit. But that doesn't mean that as these rings go out and the dartboard becomes easier to hit, as the rings go out, I see that as like, say, time or motivation. So it's 6 months to 9 months to 2 years, whatever. But I honestly believe everybody eventually moves to the middle. It's just the good agents, or well, I'd say the great agents, are going to be the ones that can take the lead that's 2 years out and be able to stay in front of them with different systems and different contact ability, I guess you'd say, and be able to be there when that person gets to the middle. Because like, I think it's a couple of years, the NAR's profile of buyers and sellers, 2/3 of sellers only interviewed one agent before listing their house. So that's great if you're the one agent, and it's a lot harder if you're not. So I think that with that mindset, when I'm prospecting, I don't need to have somebody need to list right now. I just want to be there when they're ready to list.
Well, remember Tim High was on our call 2 weeks ago, and Tim was talking about his goal is to get 5 nurtures every day. And those nurtures, as you describe it, Brian, I like that analogy, is them being on the dartboard. Those nurtures are really far out on the dartboard. They're probably in the middle. The farthest out ring.
They could be anywhere, actually.
Yeah, those farthest out ones on the dartboard are like the address-only leads from the valuation side, or the canceled expired ones we haven't talked to, or the circle prospecting people, right? And then you're just trying to move them closer and closer to the center. So, hey, Brian, you're a home valuation lead, and you're calling me on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this?
Sure.
Okay. So the first question you're going to ask me is what?
I got the information that you're maybe looking to sell your house.
No, actually, I wasn't. I was just curious to see what it might be worth.
Oh, that's okay. We could do that for you. Before I want to let you know, have you ever done an online valuation, like say through Zillow?
Yeah, I have, but
yeah. You know, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell you, Ben. If you want a true valuation of your home, you're going to have to either pay for an appraisal, or you could use have a realtor who's willing to do it for free and kind of let you know where you sit, because you could have more equity than you think, or your house could be worth more than you really realize.
Well, I'm actually.
Would you be interested in getting that, Ben?
I'm not interested in selling my home at all.
Okay, that's fine. I'll tell you this. Would you sell it? I mean, is there a price that you would sell your house for? I mean, let's just pretend that all cards are on the table, Ben. How much would you sell your house for?
I mean, there's a price that I would sell my home for right this second. I don't know if you can get that, though.
I'll tell you what, and I'm not going to make you do this, but if we could sell your house for the price that you want, would you sell it?
If I could get the price that I want, I would probably sell it. See,
sure.
you guys get on the call everybody, if you're listening to me, is that nobody wants to talk to a salesperson right now about getting rid of the house that they live in. You know what I'm saying? So with the conversation that Brian and I talk about and we role play is, I say, hey Brian, I see that you registered on our home valuation website. Are you interested in selling? And Brian says what?
Nope.
Nope. I say, great, Brian, I don't want to bother you. If you were going to sell, when would that be? And what would you say?
I don't know. Maybe when my kids graduate from high school.
Which would be when?
5 years or so.
5 years. Yeah. So, Brian, let me ask you, if you were going to sell in 5 years, what price would you need to get then?
$1 million.
$1 million. Great. If I could get you $1 million today or in 2 years, would you consider selling?
Yes, I would.
So what Brian came up with on our team was a would sell list, would be a list of people that would sell if they could get the amount of money they want. So then when we get buyers in our system that don't have homes that are available to see, we can go show them the would sell people, which means we get to double in the transactions. You guys get that on the call? Cool, right? Hey, Nathan, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Nathan is our primary listing agent for the Bellingham area, and when we hired Nathan, we were able to go from 278 closings to upwards of 500. And Nathan, what's your primary job?
Go on listing appointments and take listings.
Okay, and you come in every day about what time?
8:30 for scripts.
Yep, and then what?
And from there, I spend my morning doing lead gen, mostly leads coming through either just referrals as us being a team, along with valuation sites, city guides, seller sites, and all that stuff.
All right, so you're following up with leads, setting appointments, and then you go on appointments.
Correct.
And you rely on who to generate you appointments? Because it's not just you, right?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
I rely on people like Brian doing our inside sales and a couple other people that we're bringing on and training in that position. And I rely on, well, actually you as the team owner to make sure our brand is out there so that people are contacting us.
And we have Kathy, who we rely on, who does our mail marketing. Okay. So Nathan, what's your listing presentation like?
It's the exact same one that you teach all the time.
Yeah, the difference is that you know it so well you can do it what way?
Most of the time, almost 90+% of the time, all I'm doing is drawing it on a blank piece of paper.
So you've mastered the listing presentation so well that you don't need to use your laptop or the iPad presentation. You just do it on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard. If you guys want a copy of that listing presentation video, Emily will send the link out to that video right now. Okay, Nathan, keep going.
And from there, appointments fill up my afternoons, and then I do contract negotiations and seller follow-ups and stuff like that when I'm not calling new leads, or the ones that have just come in. I'm working on the kind of would you sell list, or the people that are interested and just kind of need those touches along the way to make sure that we're still their people when they are ready to pull the trigger.
What do you think our marketing saturation is like in our market?
It's pretty saturated. I constantly get asked as far as tracking what part of our marketing is working and where people are finding us and where they're coming from. And more I get the generic answer of, oh, I hear about you guys everywhere.
Yeah, because we are kind of trying to hit them from all angles. What's the biggest challenge that you have?
Biggest challenge that I have is probably myself and my time management skills.
Yeah. Yeah, so how do you beat that?
I have people like Johanna and Jolene to smack me around a little bit.
Yeah.
Make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But when it comes...
Why did you decide to be a listing agent?
I started on the team with you as a buyer's agent, as most people do, and I'm pretty sure within the first few months I sat down and said, I will go crazy if I have to drive buyers around all day, every day. Yeah. And you said, are you interested in a different position? And I said, yep. And that's when you were still doing most of our listings. So I was essentially told, learn the listing presentation, front and back, just like I do it. And I went on appointments with you for a while and then took over from there.
You know what's funny, Nathan, is that I give my listing presentation away to everybody. I mean, people in our office, people in our, I mean, it's online. I mean, any agent in the area could use it. And sometimes we actually do get beat by it, but not that often. Why do you think that we can still get listings even when our competitors are using the same presentation?
I think it's our value proposition.
Uh-huh. And what do you think is different about the way that you do listing presentations?
In what sense?
I don't know. What do you do that's different than the average agent?
I think most of it is keeping the conversation on track. I view my job when I go into, I'm not trying to sell anything. 99% of my job is education. So by the time I've met with a client, done a brief tour of their home, looked at their things, kind of figured out where they're coming from, what their goals are, what financial situation they're in, and where they want to be and when they want to be there, by the time I sit down at the table to do the listing presentation, I know what key points to hit on, and I know what their major concerns are, so I can answer those questions without even them having to ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's true. So, Tam, are you still with me?
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Tamara? Bueller? All right. So what we want to do is we figured out how to build our team in the Bellingham area, and it's probably 70% of our business. Now, for us to grow and to get a bigger business, we have to expand into different areas. Now, when we expand into different areas, we do that through this idea of pods. And those pods are where we take the exact same system that we use here in Bellingham and we go to a different area. It's called agent expansion. And for me to get over 1,000 transactions a year, I'm going to have to go to more locations. We're going to have an expansion plan. And that expansion plan looks like this. We have our Hey, well, thank you for joining us, Tamara. So we have our we have our leadership located here in Bellingham. All of our administration is located here in Bellingham. Jen and Johanna and Jolene run the teams in all of our areas. Brian does telemarketing, and Anthony does inside sales, and we have people that do these different positions for all over our state. But then we have these different satellites. And Tamara started off being one of our first major expansions into the Everett area. And now, Tamara, how many team members do we have in the Everett location?
6, including me, 7.
Yeah, including you, 7. So we're growing a pretty strong team there, and I think this year we're really getting traction. And this will be, hundreds and hundreds of deals that are done in the Everett location. And then we've hired a new person to take on Seattle. We have an awesome agent in the east side. We're building our pods in these different locations. And the next step, we'll fill up Washington. We'll have 10 or 20 teams in Washington State, and then we'll go out of state, and we'll start eking our way out. And I guess, what's that experience been like for you, Tamara?
Truthfully, I would say in the beginning challenging, because we really were kind of paving the way. So we made we made some mistakes along the way, or I made some mistakes along the way in hiring and connecting with our hub, our main office. But we've learned through that, and like I said, I think this year we're the traction going forward. I've got an amazing group of agents right now that are just taking off. They're doing really well.
I mean, you have great agents right now, and to be honest, I like them. You've done a good job of picking those. We haven't always done a good job of picking people, have we?
No.
No, we hired.
It's really, all of our issues really have been hire issues, I would say.
Yeah. You hire the right people, and then all of a sudden, you look like a rock star. Isn't that true?
Correct.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. So for Tamara, who wants a big life, because I know Tamara, like, she's not satisfied with $250,000. She wants to make $1 million. And she will be one of those people that becomes one of the millionaires that I helped make, because she's loyal. And we have that relationship, and she shows up and she works hard. But for us to do that, we have to expand into new areas and build new things. And what's your goal for the Everett team in commission?
$2.5 million GCI.
So, Yeah, Everett will generate $2.5 million in commission in GCI. And once we do that, Tamara and I can move on to the next thing. But that's her one thing, get Everett to $2.5 million in commission. So I want you guys to think bigger. If you're on the call, think bigger. Think as big as you can. Think about, how do you partner with the right person? How do you join a team to get the life that you want? How do you build a team to get the life that you want? If you're interested, in being a part of our world, make sure you let us know. We would love to talk about what is the next state that we go to, or if you're coming to our area, how could you incubate here and then move to another area and build a team for us? Very, very interested. And if you're persistent enough, you can find a way how to earn that part in our life. So, Jelaine, are you still there?
I'm here, Ben.
Speak up.
I'm here.
Okay. What have we learned since over the last 9 years?
Well, if I'm speaking for myself, I would say consistency is key. And I simplify everything and make a system for it. And I use this parallel. It's like a name without a system is just as good as a sticky note in the trash can. And I feel that way with every aspect of our business. And also learned that, well, like you said, we've got to hire the right people, because my world and your world became so much better when we did have the right people on board. And then really tracking our numbers and knowing what we're shooting for and where we're at now in comparison to that.
Yeah. And how's your life changed in the last 9 years?
It's big. My life is big. And it's exciting because, Ben, you know this, I get bored really, really easy. And I don't think I've ever been bored in working for you and being a part of, your companies. And my world has, with the loyalty and a hard work, has become really, really big.
Am I a pain in the ass to work for?
You can be challenging.
That was an honest answer, guys, if you're on the call. Guys, I want to thank you for being on the call today. We got a kind of a special discount for you guys if you go to happygrasshopper.com/Ben. Dan from Happy Grasshoppers agreed to give you guys a discount. Once again, he doesn't pay to be here. He's just honestly just a friend. If you guys want to check out Brivity, type into the chat box. If you'd like a demo, we'll get you covered. If you want a demo of Real Launch, our seller sites, valuation sites, city guides, our commercial products, type into the chat box. Let us know what you want. We'll reach out to you and we'll get it scheduled. Just type it in right now, what you want and what your email address is, and I'll get you guys covered. I promise. Now, this is a unique call. What did you guys think of the call today? Hello? Hello? It was different, right? Yeah, I think we're getting some great feedback, Jelaine. If you guys haven't noticed, I have an amazing team, and there's many members of my team that are not on the call today that would just blow you away. And they will change the face of real estate, and I'm blessed to be in business with them, and I'm only successful because of them. Without them, I would be the suck, if you guys know what I'm saying. So let us know if you want a demo. The next call is going to be the 20th at 9 a.m. I don't have a title for it yet, but as always, it's going to be crazy. I will offend at least one person. They'll hang up. And for those of you that stick it out, I appreciate it. You guys are pretty awesome. Team, thanks for being there. Everybody else, I'll stay online answering questions in the chat box, so keep typing them in if you want demos, requests, anything. And if you're coming to RE8 Expo in Seattle, June 12th, type it into the chat box so I just know that you're coming. And if you guys want to come in a day early and check out our team, let me know. I'll talk to you guys then. Later.